Hi everyone, welcome back to episode 4 of the Be Kind, Be Happy Storytime playlist. And for today, I'd like to continue with part 2 of the Tao Te Ching, which is the Sutra of the Way, or also translated as the Book of the Way, written by Laozi several thousand years ago. So enjoy. Chapter 31. Weapons are ill-fortune tools. Things may detest them. Hence, the man of the Tao does not rely on them. When a junzi is at leisure, he honors what is at his left. Use of weapons honors the right. Thus, weapons are not tools of a junzi. A junzi is a scholar. Weapons are ill-fortuned tools. They must be used only from necessity. It is best to use them without gusto, to prevail without relish. To relish victory is to take joy in killing men. The man who takes joy in killing men will never attain his ambition in the world. Affairs of good fortune honor the left. Affairs of ill fortune honor the right. The lieutenant's place is to the left. The commander's place is to the right. This means that mourning rites are the model. When the masses of another lord are killed, one should mourn them with wailing. For victory in battle, mourning rites are the model. 32. The Tao is ever nameless. Though the uncarved block be small, it cannot be made the subordinate of any in the world. If a king or lord could preserve it, the things of the world would come to him of themselves. As heaven and earth conjoin to send down sweet dew, the people will settle themselves though none so decrees. As soon as it cuts, As soon as it is cut, then there are names. Once there are names, one must know it's time to stop. Knowing to stop is the way to avoid danger. The Tao is to the world as a junzi and sea are to streams and brooks. 33. He who knows men is wise. He who knows himself is enlightened. He who conquers men has strength. He who conquers himself has is strong. He who knows that he has enough is wealthy. He who preserves, he who perseveres has strong will. He who does not lose his place is lasting. He who lasts beyond his death is long lived. The great Tao flows everywhere, at every at our left and right. Relying upon it, the things of the world are born. Yet it remains wordless. Its work done, it takes no name as the doer. Clothing and nourishing the things of the world, it never acts as their lord. Constant, without desire, it may be termed small. The things of the world return to it, but it never acts as their lord. It may be termed great. Because it never takes itself to be great, it is able to complete its greatness. 35. Grasp the great image, and the world will come. Coming and encountering no harm, it will settle in a great place. Where there is music and food, travelers stop. When the Tao is spoken as words, how thin it is without taste. Look at it, and it cannot be seen. Listen to it, and it cannot be heard. But use it, and it cannot be exhausted. 36. To shrink it, you must stretch it. To weaken it, you must strengthen it. To discard it, you must raise it up. To seize it, you must bestow it. This is called subtle discernment. The weak and supple overcomes the strong and hard. Fish must not emerge from the deeps. The vital tools of a state must not be revealed. 37. The Tao is ever non-acting, yet nothing is undone. If a lord or king can preserve this, the things of the world will of themselves be transformed. Transformed should desire arise, I will press it down with the uncarved block of namelessness. The uncarved block of namelessness. Surely then they shall be without desire. Without desire and thus still, so will the battle, so will the world be settled of itself. 38. The highest virtue is without virtue, hence it has virtue. The lowest virtue never deviates from virtue, hence it lacks virtue. The highest virtue does not act and has no reason to act. The lowest virtue acts and has reason to act. The highest ren acts without any reason to act. The highest right acts and has reason to act. The highest li acts, and if no person responds, rolls up its sleeves and twists their arms. Hence, only after the Tao is lost is there virtue. Only after virtue is lost is there ren. Only after ren is lost is there right. Only after right is lost is there li. Li is the thinning of loyalty and faithfulness. When chaos first rises its head, foreknowledge is the blossom of the Tao when ignorance first begins. Therefore, the man dwells in the thick, not in the thin, abides in the fruit, not in the blossom. Thus he discards the one and grasps the other. 39. Those of old have gained the one. The sky gained the one and was thus clear. Earth gained the one and was thus calm. The spirits gained the one and was thus potent. The valley gained the one and was this full. The things of the world gained the one and were thus born. Kings and lords gained the one and were models to the world. This is what the one brought about. Without what makes it clear, the sky would likely split. Without what makes it calm, the earth would likely collapse. Without what makes them potent, the spirits would likely dissipate. Without what makes them full, the valley would likely run dry. Without what makes them birth, the world of things would likely be extinguished. Without what makes them honored, kings and lords will likely topple. Therefore, the honored takes the lowly as root, high takes low as foundation. For this reason, kings and lords refer to themselves as the orphan, the widow, the unemployed. Does this take the lowly as the root, or does it not? Hence, the utmost renown is to be unknown. Have no wish, be glossy like jades, rather be hard like stones. 40. Reversal is the motion of the Tao. Weakness is the method of the Tao. The things of the world are born from being, and being is born from nothing. 41. When the best gentlemen hear the Tao, they practice it assiduously. When middling gentlemen hear the Tao, sometimes they seem to have it, sometimes they seem to have lost it. When the least of gentlemen hear the Tao, they laugh out loud. If they did not laugh out loud, it would not be the Tao. Thus the standard sayings say, the bright Tao seems bright, an advancing Tao seems to retreat. The level Tao seems steep, highest virtue seems a valley, greatest white seems sullied, broad virtue seems inadequate, vigorous virtue seems to be shirk, plain virtue seems soiled. The great square is cornerless, the great vessel is last complete. The great note is rarefied sound, the great image has no form. The Tao hides in wordlessness, only the Tao is well begun and well completed. The Tao gives birth to one gives birth to two gives birth to three gives birth to the 10,000 things. The things of the world bear yin on their backs and embrace the yang. They exhaust their qi in harmony. People detest being orphaned or widowed or unemployed. Yet these are the terms kings and lords use to refer to themselves. One may detract from a thing and it is enhanced thereby, or enhance it and so detract from it. 43. The most pliant thing in the world will ride roughshod over the hardest. What comes from where nowhere What comes out from where nothing is entered into what has no apertures? Let me read that again. What comes out from where nothing is enters into what has no apertures. Hence, I know the advantage of non-action, the wordless teaching and the advantage of non-action. Few in the world attain to these. 44. One's reputation or one's body, which is dearer? One's body or one's goods, which is worth more? Gaining or losing, which is worse? Therefore, miserliness leads to great expense. Hoarding leads to deep loss. Know what is enough and escape shame. Know when to stop and escape danger. Thus can one long endure. 45. Great perfection appears defective, so use can never make it worn. Great fullness seems vacant, so use can never make it empty. Great straightness seems bent. Great skill seems clumsy. Great eloquence seems inarticulate. Haste overcomes cold. Tranquility overcomes heat. Clear and tranquil be the standard to the world. 46. When the Tao prevails in the world, fast horses are corralled for manure. When the Tao does not prevail in the world, steeds of war are born in the city pastures. There is no calamity greater than not knowing what is sufficient. There is no greater fault than wishing to acquire. Thus, the sufficiency of knowing what is sufficient is eternal sufficiency. Let's repeat that again. Thus, the sufficiency of knowing what is sufficient is eternal sufficiency. 47. Without going out your door, know the world. Without looking out the window, know the Tao of Tian, which is heaven. The further you travel, the less you know. Hence, the sage knows without going to it, names it without seeing, does nothing, and it is achieved. 48. He who studies is daily enlarged. He who follows the Tao is daily diminished. Diminished, and then diminished yet more, at last attaining non-action. Never acting, nothing is undone. To control the world, undertake nothing. Once you undertake to do anything, you are unfit to control the world. 49. The sage has no constant mind. He takes the mind of the people as his mind. When I treat the good as good, and I also treat those who are not good as good, my virtue is good. When I treat the faithful as faithful, and I also treat the unfaithful as faithful, my virtue is faithful. The sage appears shut to the world, and towards the world he blanks his mind in a daze. The people awe and trust his eyes and ears to him. He treats them as children. 50. Coming we are born, going we die. 3 in 10 are followers of life. 3 in 10 are followers of death. At birth, begun to move towards the death. These two are 3 in 10. Why is this? Because they treat life as life. I have heard that one good at protecting his life walks in the hills but never encounters rhinoceroses or tigers, charging against armies and is never touched by weapons or armor. The rhinoceros finds no place to thrust its horn. The tiger finds no place to grip its claws. Weapons find no place to drive their blades. Why is this? Because he has no death place in him. 51. The Tao gives birth to them. Virtue rears them. Things give them form. Circumstances complete them. Thus all things in the world revere Tao and honor virtue. That the Tao is revered, that the Tao is revered, and virtue honored, is ordained by no one. It is ever so of itself. Thus the Tao gives birth to them, and virtue rears them, fosters them, nurtures them, settles them, completes them, nourishes them, and covers them. To live but not possess, to act but depend on nothing, to lead without directing, this is called mysterious virtue. 52. The world has a beginning. Take it to be the mother of the world. Having grasped the mother, you can know the child. Having grasped the child, return to preserve the mother, and you will find life, and you will live out your life without danger. Block the portals and shut the gate. You will live out your days and never be troubled. Open the portals and turn to the tasks. You will live out your days and never be rescued. To see this more is called enlightenment. To preserve the pliant is called strength. Use the gleam to return to enlightenment without bringing calamity upon oneself. This is to make the constant your habit. 53. Had I the least wisdom, I would walk the great Tao. I would fear only side paths. The great Tao is so level, yet people prefer shortcuts. The court is so tainted, the fields so overgrown, the granaries so empty, robes gleaming with patterns, belts hung with swords, sated with food and drink, goods in excess, such as to rob the destitute. Robbing the destitute is not the Tao. 53. What is firmly planted cannot be uprooted. What is tightly embraced cannot be stripped away. Descendants will thereby sacrifice without cease. Cultivate it within yourself and your virtue will be authentic. Cultivate it in the family and it will have virtue in abundance. Cultivate it in the village and the virtue will endure. Cultivate it in the state and its virtue will be rich. Cultivate it through the world and its virtue will spread everywhere. Hence, see people through oneself. See families through your family. See villages through your village. See states through your state. See the world through the world. How do I know the world is thus? By means of this. One who possesses virtue in abundance may be compared to a newborn baby. Wasps and scorpions, poisonous gates, none will bite him. Fierce beasts will not maw him. Predatory birds will not swoop down upon him. His bones are weak, his muscles pliable, and his grasp is firm. He knows nothing of the female and the male, yet his male organs stir. His essence is at its most pure. He can scream all day and not become hoarse. This is harmony at its heights. Knowing harmony is called constant. Knowing the constant is called enlightened. To increase one's nature is called inauspicious. When the mind directs the chi, it is called self-coercion. When things in their prime grow old, they are called contrary to the Tao. What is contrary to the Tao comes to an early end. 56. Those who do not speak, those who know do not speak, those who speak do not know. Blunt the point, undo the tangle, soften the glare, join the dust. This is called the dark joining. Hence, one cannot become close to it. One cannot become distant from it. One cannot profit it. One cannot harm it. One cannot honor it. One cannot disdain it. Thus it is honored by the world. 57. To order a state, use uprightness. To lead troops, use stratagems. To control the world, undertake nothing. How do I know this? By means of this. As the world is filled with more taboos, the people grow poorer. As the people possess more sharp weapons, the state grows benight. As men use more crafty skills, strange goods increasingly appear. As laws are proclaimed with increasing clarity, bandits become more common. Hence the sage says, if I take no action, the people will transform of themselves. If I love tranquility, the people will be upright of themselves. If I undertake nothing, the people will create wealth of themselves. If I have no desires, the people will of themselves become uncarved blocks. 58. When the government is narrow and dull, the people are simple and pure. When the government is clear and acute, the people are sharp and crafty. Disaster. Good fortune adheres therein. Good fortune, disasters lurks therein. Who knows its limits? It possesses no settled norm. The norm turns into the anomaly. The good turns into the monstrous. It has been long indeed that men have lost their way. Hence the sage is like a square that does not cut, a corner that is not sharp, a straight line that cannot align, a light that does not shine. 59. In governing people and serving heaven, there is nothing like parsimony. Parsimony may be called submitting in advance. Submitting in advance may be called piling up virtue. If you pile up virtue, there is nothing you cannot overcome. And if there is nothing you cannot overcome, the limit of it cannot be known. When the limit cannot be known, you may possess the state. If you possess the mother of the state, you may long endure. This is called the deep root and the solid trunk. It is the Tao of long gazing upon enduring life. 60 and final verse. Governing a large state is like cooking a small fish. When one approaches governing the world by means of the Tao, ghosts will have no potency. It is not that they have no potency, but that their potency will not harm people. It is not that their potency will not harm people, but that the sage too will not harm people. These two will do no mutual harm, and therein will virtue commingle and return. I'm just going to stop this video here. Hope you've liked part 2 of the Tao Te Ching, verses 31 to 60. And if you like what you see, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you again in part 3 in episode 5 of the Tao Te Ching. Thanks, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.